Here's to those who are building a better home, to those protecting our working families and fighting for a healthier Mississippi. Here's to the ones who understand that equal rights are not special rights. To those on the front lines, to the heroes of our past, to those making communities stronger. If you believe in fair wages, equal opportunities for every child, fully funded schools, and if you believe in a future worth fighting for, then this is your party. This is blue. This is your Mississippi Democratic Party.
You gotta fight. You gotta fight for what you believe in. You gotta fight for your neighbor, and you gotta fight for yourself. In this particular world we're living in today in 2026, being passive, being behind the telephone, your cell phone, behind your desk, just tweeting out what may be going on is probably not enough. What keeps me going is simply this, that I need to make sure my community is good. And the way that I do that is by showing up and standing up every day. I was born into this work. Most people don't know that, but I was literally born into this work, and I take it very seriously. And I also take it seriously about the folks who I surround myself with, and they have to take this work seriously too. But at the end of the day, if you care about people, if you care about yourself as an individual, stand up, be heard, and make sure your representation represents you.
Good evening. I am Mississippi's Democratic National Committee woman, Jacqueline Amos. I come to you tonight with a battle cry. Tonight is a call to arms. Our Mississippi homeland is under siege. The battle lines are clear. Mississippi hospitals are being shut down. Mississippi families can't bring in enough money to meet the flood of rising costs brought on by Washington's failures. The hard-earned equal rights of every Mississippian are being stolen. Starting right now, we must face these mortal threats to our beloved Mississippi together with our mightiest power, the power of our votes. Our votes are the shields and swords for our victories in November. Scott Cologne will be our next United States Senator. He is a seventh-generation Mississippian, a successful district attorney who knows how to fight and win. Scott is fighting for better incomes, stronger hospitals, and a united Mississippi that we can all be proud of. In the 1st Congressional District, Cliff Johnson, a fifth-generation Mississippian and successful civil rights attorney, has spent his life standing up to bullies and fighting for the vulnerable. Let's send our battling lawyer from North Mississippi to Congress to win for all of us. Chairman Benny G. Thompson has fought for Mississippi's 2nd Congressional District with unparalleled distinction, courage, and strength since 1993. His service has made America better, and we all proudly step up and stand shoulder to shoulder with our undefeated champion for equality against all foes. Michael Sharadio, a farmer, entrepreneur, and businessman who walked up and picked up the bat and glove for our team, will bring a slugger's approach to Congress for our 3rd Congressional District. Congressman Sharadio will knock it out of the park, batting hard for smart economics that put people first, for real rural investment, and for health care. It actually works for all Mississippians. In Southeast Mississippi, District 4, Jeffrey Hullum, a 22-year Army combat veteran, state legislator, and humanitarian, is already in the heat of combat to fund our schools fully, to expand health care access, and to make sure that every South Mississippian is heard. These mighty warriors will make up our congressional delegation come January if we all do what we have to do between now and November. There is no substitute for victory. Let us unite, dominate the field. Let's win.
Unbelievable, because it was my government that had to come south to install democracy here, because white Southerners were depriving Black Southerners of their ability to register and vote and select the candidates of their choice. And so you come full circle with somebody like me, who's only in office because of the Voting Rights Act, who's only represents a district that was born out of voting rights litigation. So now I have to help defend this democracy against some of those same people who wanted to deny me and my parents the right to vote. Because that same mindset is what allowed people to believe that they could break into the United States Capitol and stop the orderly certification of the election, and somehow they don't see themselves as breaking the law. Those same Klansmen who burned churches, who did all those dastardly deeds, in their mind, back then, they were not breaking the law. They were protecting and preserving their way of life. A Black man from one of the most racist states as it relates to voting rights for people of color is now having to defend democracy in the greatest democracy known to man. It's kind of ironic. And I understand the challenge. It's big. We have a lot to do to make it happen. I get a lot of strange looks as I go through various places, but I accept the challenge.
We have so much potential. We have so much potential. And we have in the past, and we have some right now, that are trying to use cynicism to stay in power for themselves. They're trying to divide and distract Mississippians. And it's not about making our life better. It's all about them trying to get power themselves. And we've had plenty of leaders in history that have done that. It's never served Mississippi well. So this is a moment where we can show the country what I truly believe are the values of Mississippians, that we can fight, that we all want every Mississippian to have a voice, to have a vote. We want every Mississippian to have access to a quality education, access to jobs that respect the dignity of work, and we want everybody to have affordable and accessible health care. And we win this election together. The one thing that is going to be very clear to the country is we didn't do it. It wasn't one person that did it. It's not going to be me. It's going to be Mississippi. We're going to do it together. We're going to show the country that we matter. That's why I picked the theme, Mississippi Matters, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to show the country we matter.
Our government has no power without our consent. Look around you. Look at one another. We are the power. You're the power. The person standing next to you is the power. So let me ask you, when our government unleashes masked agents in our neighborhoods and communities and locks up our neighbors and kills American citizens, do we consent?
No.
When our government suspends SNAP benefits and our friends and neighbors go without food and children go without food, do we consent?
No.
When wars are waged without any permission from us or our elected representatives, do we consent?
No.
When our president and his family make billions off shady deals, do we consent?
No.
When access to the ballot box is threatened and our right to vote is undermined, do we consent?
No.
When the Veterans Administration is doged and people like my dad, disabled veterans, can't find services, do we consent?
No.
When the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice is undermined and gutted, do we consent? No. We are the power. We've been up against it before, and we have overcome. Together. Take hope, my friends. We can win. We can overcome. We can be what America has said it wants to be. We can only do that together, no kings.
Amen. Good job. I think it's important that people understand like the seriousness of the moment and how important it is for us to act now. And there's a number of ways that you can frame that here at home and all over the world. So it's the time is now to act. The civil rights movement, you know, the women's rights, though they weren't just voting every other year to make change. These were active, engaged people. And more than that, they built a community around what they were doing. And recognize that we're not just going to fix it showing up once every other year to vote. Like, get involved in your local county party. So we're doing it. We're trying to build a community, and I think that it's good for us to encourage others to do that in their own way. It's a big district, and there's plenty that needs to be done. So we have to let's lay the groundwork. Let's prepare in the community, and we have a moment here where we can really swing this thing in the correct direction. Yeah.
I want you to make sure you go out there and you check your voting rolls. You check the people in your community. And also, if you have any loved one that's incarcerated and they have not committed one of the 23 disfranchising crimes, and it may have a felony, but they still have the right to vote, make sure they're registered to vote and get them out to the polls and vote. Yep. And if you are disfranchised, use your resources to help other people get to the polls and vote. Stand in the gap for someone else. That's the most thing we tell everybody. Be self-service. Take care of self when it comes to making sure you're able to vote. Take care of your immediate community, and then branch yourself out. You have to show your operational reach by reaching out to not just the people in your town, but people outside your town, because people outside your town has a lot of influence what goes on in your town.
Very true. Well,
I'm thinking about in terms of a better and a greater world for all people. And we can't do that by me in one corner doing what I can do to hurt you and you in the other corner doing the same thing against me. I'm not concerned about just representing black people, because we have poor white that's in the same category with the poor Negro. Well, I want to see a change for the people. And if we can get a good white man, all right, we'll put him in office. But I don't want it all black and I don't want it all white. I've never thought in terms of violence, of all the things that have been gained by people fighting and going through blood for it. They don't have anything, you know. This, to me, it doesn't make sense. If I hate you because you hate me, I'm no better than you are. And all we want to do is to make these people understand that we are human beings and we can work together in this country, and to have a democracy, that's what we're going to have to do.
Race amity combined with education is the key to the future of this country. We have a very diverse demographic situation in the United States, increasingly demographic. And we have to know each other. We have to learn to live with each other. We have to respect each other. We have to recognize our differences, but respect those differences. Understand that we don't all have to come from the same cultural background or the same ideological background, but we do come from the same basic background of being a human being. We're all members of one race. We are members of the human race. And I think in states such as mine, the state of Mississippi, highest percentage of African Americans of any state in the nation. This country as a whole, perhaps the most diverse democracy in the world. I think it is a key to our ability to exist as a great nation, where people understand the diversity of their backgrounds and their race, but at the same time, the commonality of their interests, the absolute necessity of learning to respect each other and to know that Out of that understanding will come a relationship, a total human relationship that will put down so many of the biases and prejudices that we are still afflicted with. This country is too rich, has too many great resources, too many great people to be handicapped by a continued racial bias. The strength of this country lies in its diversity. And I think it's a key to our future. And a younger generation must learn that. And race amity is at the background, is at the very base of accomplishing that result. And unless we accomplish that result, we're not going to be as great a people as we ought to be.
That you said you were going to Indianola, Mississippi after you left here. What's happening in Indianola, Mississippi?
Well, we'll have a mass rally and a mass march on the courthouse there, where we will continue our pattern of seeking to get people registered to vote by going directly to the place where they ought to vote, and of course protesting the continued injustices in the state of Mississippi.
How is the registration drive in? Are they having a tougher time in the Delta cities, the Delta counties of Mississippi than other parts of Mississippi in their voter registration drive?
Well, it's tough all over Mississippi. Mississippi is a state that has consistently resisted any move to rid itself of racism. So that the Delta certainly has grave problems in this area, but the whole state of Mississippi still has not come to terms with its conscience.
Not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good, so shall thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed.